Good evening and welcome to another edition, not just another edition, this is the last edition of Another Way to Praise in this decade.
Yes, it is.
That's crazy, ain't it?
It is. It's almost over. Time is winding up.
It ain't just the end of the year, it's the end of the decade, you
Yes.
guys. This is the last show of the decade. That is so hard to believe.
It
isn't
is.
That is crazy. But we want to welcome you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Another Way to Praise. We are so excited you are here. And of course, I had to bring one of my best friends to help me close the year out. Come on, put your hands together for Overseer Anthony Hunter.
Thank you, Pastor Doris. It's great to be here as always.
I'm so glad you're here with me at the end of the year.
Glad to be here.
God
with
been
you.
good, ain't he?
He's been good. It's been a good year.
Won't he will?
We've had some ups and some downs, but
Absolutely.
it's all been good.
And you know, tonight, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about this year in review, 2019, because there have been a lot of stuff going on this year. I mean, some of it good, some of it not so good, but we're here.
We're here.
So God has spared us. So before we get started, I'm going to ask if Overseer would lead us in prayer before we get going.
Certainly. Father God, in the name of Jesus, Father, we come thanking you, God. We thank you that you brought us from January all the way to December. As this year winds up, God, we just come to give your name praise and honor and thank you that even though we've had some trials, we've had some tribulations, we've had some ups, and we've had some downs, but yet you've been good, God.
Yes,
and you've
have.
kept us and you preserved us, and we'll believe in you to take us through on into the next decade,
Yes, God.
on into the next dimension. Everything that we do, we're just doing it to give your name the glory, the honor, and the praise.
Yes, God.
It's in your name, Jesus, we pray, and we thank you. Amen.
Amen. Listen, why don't you tap a couple of people, call them and say, hey, Another Way to Praise is on, because we're going to go through a lot of things that just happened. This year was a doozy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Man, it was some of everything going on this year. And we're gonna hit some world and national things as well as local things.
Yeah.
And sports. You know, we're big sports fans.
Yes, we are.
We love sports.
It's been an interesting year in sports,
too.
too.
Oh, yeah, we have to hit some highlights of what's going on in the sports world, but I hate to start it out like this, but, you know, the year started out.
It started out a little iffy.
Started out with a shutdown.
Yes. And
Was
that
that
was
a
the
hot
government.
mess?
That was the mess. The government shutdown affected so many people.
It
The longest
affected me.
shutdown.
It affected me. I was actually working on a contract, and our entire team, they couldn't get the contract renewed because they normally do that in December. And they couldn't get the contract renewed, and it just jacked up our entire team. And so I take this personal. You know what I mean? I mean, I wasn't the only one that was affected by that, but I'm just saying.
And isn't the shut-in, it happens because legislator can't reach a decision to keep it going. But my understanding is they kept getting paid.
Oh, they kept getting paid. Wasn't nothing wrong with their finances, but they wasn't thinking about nobody else's finances and how people was trying to make it. It was just a hot mess. And I mean, this went on unnecessarily for several weeks.
Yeah.
And before, you know, things could get back on track. So I hate to say it. That was the way that the year kind of started. But glory be to God. He got us through it. Amen.
Yeah, if we go to sports, maybe we have something to celebrate there. Because Clemson crushed Alabama for the National College Football title.
Didn't they do it?
They did it.
Listen,
And upset.
Clemson they was off the
Awesome.
hook. They was. I think that was like 15-0 or something crazy
15-0
like that.
season.
Because nobody thought that Alabama could be beat.
44-16, they were beat.
Ooh-wee.
Yes.
Yeah, they took them out, but it was a good game.
It
Did
was.
you see that game?
Yes, that was a good game.
It was a really good
That
game.
was a good game.
It was. So I was happy for Clemson, even though I'm not necessarily a Clemson fan, but I was happy for them.
It's good to see an underdog win sometimes.
It is.
Somebody nobody expected to win.
Yeah.
Although they had a perfect
They
season.
had a good
But
team
they
now.
thought when they got there, that would be it.
Yeah, it's just that I think everybody was just so pro Alabama.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It wasn't that Clemson didn't have a good team. I think it was more people just so pro Alabama.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I understand. But you know, then we came back around February or March, and we had this college scandal. This admission scandal was a hot mess, wasn't it?
It is.
It was about 50 people that ended up getting indicted for paying money to have their children admitted to college because their kids, I guess, wasn't intelligent enough. Like you're supposed to train your kids to study instead of them trying to get their kids to arise to what excellence is about. They paid some people to take tests for them to get them in colleges.
And it seems like it just felt like it was just like a rich privilege, you know, like
It's entitlement.
I can just, how much does it cost
Exactly.
to go to school and pay my way and get in?
I just think, to me, it was a mess because, you know, we teach our children to strive for excellence. We teach our kids to get good grades. So when scholarships and those kinds of opportunities come up, you know, it should go to the kids that worked hard to get it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's that kind of money should go to the kids that really worked hard to and deserve it.
Right.
Not just because your parents got a checkbook and they can write a check
on
out.
money that way. I mean, it's hard enough for some students that have good grades that are poor or just even middle class to get in college as it is.
It's very hard.
But to think that these people could just take their money and get their
they just wrote a
mediocre
check.
students in just on the
Well,
check.
you know, it was some high profile people caught up in that. It was actress Felicity Huffman. Mm-hmm. She was one of the ones, and she got sentenced on September the 13th. Look, she spent 14 days in jail. 14 days.
And $30,000. I think she spent more than $30,000 to get her child in the school. Well, I mean, $30,000.
Her fine was $30,000.
And 250 hours of community service.
Mm-hmm.
Slap on the wrist if you ask
And you
me.
know, actress Lori Loughlin, she was also in that scandal.
Yeah.
Her and her husband, actually. Because her husband is a fashion designer. She's an actress.
I understand there's still some more cases to go
on.
Oh,
yeah, I think it was like yesterday that I saw where they're still claiming that they're not guilty. And I think that's not going to work out too good for them because I think they're going to end up doing some time too. Because most of these people that are not named people that we know, they're spending time in there.
Right.
And I think the only reason that Felicity Huffman got that little slap on the wrist is because of her name.
Well, I mean, I give her credit. She did gone and plead, you know, not.
She did. She said she was guilty.
She was guilty.
Yeah.
I mean, and that merits something, but I just don't know. I wonder if this would have been with a lower level people.
If it was me or you,
yes,
we would have been in there for some years. 14 days, 2 weeks.
We'll talk about some other cases, some other people that maybe got some time that wasn't so deserving. It seemed like they did more.
It was about 50 people, and the rest of them, we don't know who them people is, you know what I'm saying? So they spent a lot of them got convicted of some serious time. Mm-hmm. But she can go in there because she's the big time actress.
It happens.
Lord. Mm-hmm. And right around February, what else happened?
Well, you know, the Patriots, they had to win the Super Bowl. Again.
I'm so tired of the Patriots.
I don't know. I'm kind of happy for the Patriots. I'm ready for them to win again. You think they can win in 2020?
Let's hope not.
Let's hope so.
No.
I just think we ought to just only give them.
You know, this is my thing. Maybe I'm wrong. But Tom Brady, for the caliber of quarterback he is, why do they keep getting caught up in all these scandals?
I don't know, but
I mean, he don't have to do
with this.
He don't have to do that. Yeah. He's good enough where he don't have to do that.
But I don't know about this latest thing about them filming the Bengals. They surely couldn't been stealing no moves from the Bengals.
Lord.
And they're in last place.
I don't know what it was about, but it's like it would be different if it was just one time. Mm-hmm. But they've had several occurrences where this happened, and I don't get it because. You know, you can think what you want about the Patriots. I'm not a big Patriots fan, okay? But I respect Tom Brady in the sense that he's just that good. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why he wants to be linked to Belichick and all of this mess going on with the cheating. He's really a good quarterback. He don't have to do all of that. I don't understand why they always caught up. So I guess that's why I really want, I want my team to make it to the Super Bowl again.
Who's your team?
The Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got 2 teams. My son tell me I'm cheating by having 2 teams.
Okay.
But I could have 2 teams if I want to.
Okay.
But my other team is the New Orleans Saints. And I hope one of them can make it to the Super Bowl. Preferably the Seahawks, because they have had a tremendous season.
Well, I'm going to say it here. I'm looking for the Patriots to take this thing in 2020.
Yeah, I ain't on you right now. I'm really not. I'm
I
so
think
tired of the Patriots. I don't know
A
what
couple more Super Bowl wins and we'll just call it the Patriots Bowl.
It's the Patriots Bowl now.
We'll call it the Patriots Bowl.
It's already the Patriots Bowl. I'm so tired of them winning. It's like, let somebody else win.
Them. Yes. Yes, yes.
Well, what else was going on this year?
Let's move on. If we look down to, there was a tragedy in April.
Mm-hmm.
And Notre Dame Cathedral caught on fire. And that really is the tragedy.
It caught on fire.
Mm-hmm. It was a terrible fire.
I'm not saying it was a bad thing. The problem I had with that is that they were taking up money to rebuild the church, and I'm like, the Catholic Church don't need no money. Why are they collecting money? The Catholic Church got more than enough money for whatever repairs happened to that fire. I'm sorry. The Catholic Church is not starving for no money.
Well, I'm sure they had some kind of insurance or something, I'm sure.
But I'm saying, even with the insurance, why were they taking up offers to rebuild this church? And I'm like, are they serious?
Yeah, they were serious. I don't know, something worked because I understand they've already started the restoration of the cathedral.
Yeah, they have.
Yes.
And
it actually began, I believe, in September.
somebody, I don't know who's in charge of the money, but somebody in the Catholic Church could have just wrote a check and said, fix the church.
Yeah.
Why
I don't know
did
if that happened.
I'm just saying.
Did you send some money?
No. What would I be sending them some money for?
Well,
That's
somebody
crazy.
did. Let's move on.
Well, in April,
It happened.
Tiger Woods,
Yes.
he won the Masters. I was happy for him.
Very happy. Yeah.
He's been struggling.
Great comeback.
I thought it was an excellent comeback. And I know it's a lot of people that was, kind of against him and all of that. But, he had a rough few years. But, give him in his props.
I was glad to see him come back.
I
That's
was
good.
happy to see it.
It's a feel-good move. I think it was good. Certainly good for him, good for the whole game. It was good for the country to see somebody come back and regain their position.
Yeah.
At the top.
15th major.
Yes.
He was on an 11-year hiatus. Who comes back from 11 years, being off 11
With God, all things are possible.
I know.
That's
That's why
it.
I feel like that's what was really going on.
Yes.
He's been through a lot. I'm not trying to excuse anything he's done. We all know about the little incident when he used to be married and all of that. But everybody has good and bad days and times and seasons in their life. But that has nothing to do with his gift. He really has he's the best at it. And he struggled because he was having a lot of back pains and surgeries and all that kind of stuff. And he was able to finally get it together.
Yes.
I was happy for him.
And it's just a strong thing. If you hold on, keep fighting, keep struggling, you can make a comeback.
Yeah, but the thing is that the Masters, that ain't nothing easy to win either.
No, but he did it.
Oh.
It
Did they do it?
Yes.
And then in April, Virginia won against Texas Tech in the NCAA basketball finals.
Yes.
I be enjoying it because this is the thing for me because I love sports. But right between the end of the year and March Madness, it is absolutely too much sports on TV.
Yes.
I'm just it's too much going on. You got football, and they try to do the playoffs and figure out who's going to the Super Bowl, and then you got all this March Madness going on. It's just too much. The NBA is happening. I'm like, it is too much sports on TV. This is driving me nuts. And I really can't get into the NBA season until the NFL season wraps up. You know what I mean? So I can focus on it. I'm just saying, it's just too much happening. So, you know, for me, it was just a lot going on. But I enjoy the March Madness because of all of the teams and the excitement. Because I don't really be interested until it starts getting around this time of year. That's when I start watching.
Yeah, I like to watch more towards the end as we get more towards the end.
Well, it was a good championship. I mean, 85-77, and they went in OT. Yeah. That was a good game.
Good game.
It was excellent. I watched it again, actually.
Well, you know.
Because I taped it on DVD because I wanted to go back and DVR, and I was like, this was a good game. It was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
And you know, England and the United States, they merged and came together, and we had a new addition. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
The new royal baby.
The royal baby. Isn't that cute, though?
Yes.
I thought it was. I mean, because these are Princess Di's children that now have their own families. And it's just sad and tragic she didn't get to live to see this. I think she would be absolutely over the moon about her grandchildren.
I think so.
I think she would just be in love with them.
And maybe even definitely Harry being the youngest and him kind of doing his own thing as she did.
Absolutely.
And,
now, I think they both got that from her.
Yes.
Not that, I won't say they're rebellious, I just think they have their own mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they're not scared to use it. And I think that came from her.
But him and the Duchess, they seem extremely happy.
They do, genuinely.
Genuinely. They seem like they're in love. I think we all was excited when their first child came.
I was happy for them.
Yes.
Because, you know, they was trying to be a little controversial when they got married and all of that. And I'm like, y'all, leave people be. Leave people be.
Yes.
Let folk be happy. Why are people always got to interject their 2 cents in everything all the time?
I don't know, but it looks like they're enjoying it. I understand they'll be over here in the U.S. this year for the holidays.
That's what I heard. But you know, her mom and stuff still live over here.
Yeah, I think they're going to be with her family this year, so that's going to be nice.
I think it'll be real nice. You know, locally we had some stuff going on too, right around that time. What was that, in May?
That was in May.
I want to give a shout out.
Give a shout out to them.
I want to give a shout out to Pastor Cavaza and Lady Connie Smith. Right here in Cincinnati, Corinthian Baptist Church built a brand new edifice.
Yes.
Right here in Cincinnati.
Right where I used to go to the drive-in at.
It's gorgeous.
Right on that
I'm so
property.
happy for you guys. Congratulations, Pastor Cavaza and your wife and the congregation of Corinthian. I mean, it's like a $15-16 million edifice. It's gorgeous.
It is.
And they had like a week-long celebration. They had everybody here. They had J.J. Hairston and Israel Houghton and who else?
Yeah. I'm not sure who else, but I know they had a great celebration. We're happy for them.
I'm very happy for them. And I think he waited on the Lord.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because they had that land for a minute.
They had the land. They sold some to Mercy Health Complex. They built in the front. They milled on the side. And I think that was a good use of the land. Very good.
I think it's good for the community. To me, you can tell that he was thinking of more than just Corinthian. He was thinking about the community.
Right.
You know? So for them to be able to sell that land to them, allow them to build the Catholic Health Partners, and then they do the other part of the land on that 5 or 6 acres that was left.
And it's just good to see a lot of the churches progressing and moving forward and moving on and getting new edifices and moving into new dimensions of ministry.
Oh yeah, and I think what is their new address? It's over there on Tennessee, 1920 Tennessee Avenue.
1920 Tennessee Avenue.
In Byron Hill.
In Byron Hill.
Well, congratulations, Pastor Cavaza.
Congratulations.
We're so happy for them. I mean, y'all, that was right here in Cincinnati.
Right
here. So if y'all ain't been to visit them, go visit them, y'all. Corinthian Baptist Church with their new edifice. That happened that was May 4th through the 10th when they had their celebration. Yeah, it was like a whole week. I think Martha Menizzi and some other people, they had a bunch of people over there. And
a lot of people over there. Yes.
That was wonderful.
But
Lord have mercy.
Days after that.
Ooh wee.
Yeah, it's tornadoes.
Well,
Tornadoes.
This is the thing. I'm from Dayton. And so this is very close to my heart because I'm originally from Dayton. And there were 15. That's the official count that they actually released. It was 15 tornadoes that came through the Dayton, Ohio, Miami Valley area.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unprecedented because, I grew up in Dayton, and all my life we always had tornado warnings.
Yeah.
And you might go to your basement or something like that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If they announced that it was a tornado warning, you would probably, go take for cover or something, but nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. And then this year, it wasn't just one, it was 15 tornadoes that came and ripped through the city, and it broke my heart, I'm going to tell you.
Especially Trotwood and
Trotwood got demolished. It was
very.
Oh, yeah.
I used to live in Trotwood, and the area where I exactly lived got hit a little bit, but across the street down were just totally destroyed.
I went the next day. I worked half a day, and then I went down, and I think I went too quick.
Yeah.
I think I went too quick because when I got down there, I was just in tears. I was like, "What happened?" Well, I think it's because I was up there. We were up there on Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
And I went to a friend of mine had a white party, and we was having a good time at the white party. And that night, we spent the night.
Yeah.
Got up. Gorgeous day. I mean, the weather was perfect. And we came back home to Cincinnati.
Right.
Beautiful all the rest of the day. And then all hell breaks loose. Mm-hmm. That night.
And it was just unreal.
Oh my God. Because I remember when my phone, I get weather notifications. I got it set up for Dayton and for Cincinnati. And my phone was going off, and it just kept beeping. And so when I grabbed my phone, I was like, oh, that's just Dayton. I didn't think much about it, but it kept going off and going off and going off. And when I picked up my phone, I hit the link and it goes straight to the news. And the news lady was crying on the air. She was on the air begging people to take cover, and I was like, what is happening? And I immediately, of course, started calling everybody I knew, my family members and everybody, and I'm crying because I'm like, something, And I don't think people were taking it serious because, like I said, when we were growing up, we always had tornado warnings. And I think everybody just thought, it'll be over in a little bit. Nobody was taking it serious.
Right.
Until it hit. It actually hit. That's when everybody was like, what in the world?
And speaking of that, I remember being on the show after that because you organized a concert to help the people out for some relief.
I did. Actually, I started loading up my car every weekend because there are people here in Cincinnati that know I'm from Dayton. And people were calling me or hitting me up on Facebook. They were like, Doris, do you know anybody need clothes? Do you need toiletries? Do you need whatever? And we were, I was just loading up the car.
Yeah.
Every week.
Too. We were doing
and we
that.
would just drive stuff. And I had connections with churches down there and other people that were helping distribute stuff. I went down there and I was helping distribute food and toiletries to people. I was just, I'm telling you, this really affected me.
Do you know how they're doing now? I know things are better, but they're not all the way there.
They're a little better, but they are still very much, there are a lot of people that are still rebuilding their lives.
Yeah.
And there's still people that need help. Some people, just because the headlines move on from the story doesn't mean people's lives have moved on. You know what I mean? And there are still some people that are in need. But yeah, I was blessed to be able to, the Lord laid on my heart to partner with some dear friends of mine, Pastor Corey and Pastor Stephanie Cunningham.
Yeah.
And we gave a Cincinnati Cares and Shares concert. And I just, you know what I did? I just reached out, asked several of my friends that are just anointed in music ministry and asked them if they would do this with me. And we just took a caravan of people down to Dayton, and we gave away all kinds of clothing. We had my friends from Mr. B's Fish. They fed anybody that wanted to eat that day for free. People was getting water. They were getting clothing, toiletries, whatever they needed, they could just come and get it. I had a network of several friends of mine that are barbers in the Dayton area. And we gave away free vouchers so that people that were affected and just didn't have the money, they could go and get their kids' haircut, get them ready for school.
Right.
I mean, it was just a really...
so many things that you didn't think about that people needed.
Exactly.
Even at that time.
You take it for granted.
Even now.
Yeah, you just kind of take it for granted, but the tornadoes were horrible. It was a horrible experience, and there are people that are still very much, like I said, putting their lives back together. I mean, if everything in your life you own is blown away, it takes a minute for you to get back on your feet.
Some good news. Did anything good happen in maybe June?
Maybe.
June?
Let's see. Did anything happen? What else happened?
The Tornado Raptors won the NBA title over the Golden State Warriors.
I forgot all about that, but you know what? I was rooting for them.
Were you?
Yeah, because Kawhi Leonard, he's with the Clippers now, but I was happy because they had gotten rid of, the Spurs had got rid of Kawhi.
Right.
And they would a key part of the team. Then he go up there and
win anyway.
So I was rooting for it because I was like, that's what they get for getting rid of him.
Absolutely. I will agree with that.
So that's why I was rooting for Kawhi. I was like, come on, y'all, now. But I was so happy for the Toronto. The only thing was Toronto was begging and begging and begging, thinking Kawhi was going to stay. I was like, Kawhi ain't staying in no Toronto. I already knew that. As soon as his contract was up, I was like, he gonna be gone. Now, I didn't know where he was going, but I knew he was not gonna stay in Toronto.
But hey, they won.
They did.
And in July, the U.S. women's soccer team won their 3rd World Cup.
That was kind of exciting, just because it was women.
Yes.
I mean, I have to say that.
Well, yeah, you would.
Well, I'm just saying, ain't nothing wrong with it. It was.
It was good.
Because, see, sometimes people think that the women's sports aren't as exciting because we're so programmed and used to men playing the sports and we get all into that. And then when women do sports, sometimes they don't think it's as exciting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I was happy for them.
Great.
I mean, that's not easy to do. And this is their 3rd time winning. So I think they should be celebrated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
they brought it on home.
Yes. But
the
now,
FIFA World Cup. Yeah.
Also in July locally, I think we had one of the tragedies, and one of the times I think this area, this city, kind of looked in a really bad way. Especially
I thought they looked horrible. I thought they looked horrible, and that was when they arrested Judge Tracy Hunter, who I love very much. She's a sweet woman, and I agree with you. I thought it made it just put the city in a really bad light.
Right, it did.
Because in my opinion, I'm just talking about me, I don't think she deserved to go to jail for that, and especially when she wasn't guilty. And it was obvious from the time that she ran for her office to sit as judge. Look how long it took them to even seat her.
Yes. There's a lot.
Her term was about over by the time she got seated, and then they just harassed her the rest of the way.
There's a lot about that case. I mean, I know people are out on both sides, but the one thing you can say, I think it made us look bad. I think the whole arrest and the whole courtroom drama was horrible. I think that the fact that she actually had to go to jail and they didn't work something else out was horrible.
It was absolutely an atrocity to me. It just really was an
atrocity
to
her and to the community. And it's just a terrible thing.
But I'm so grateful that God allowed a way. I don't care what way it was made. I'm grateful that he allowed a way for her to be out.
Yes.
So we love you.
Thank God she's out.
We love you. And we are praying for you. And if you need anything, come.
Cause.
We are rooting for you.
Amen.
We love you.
Love you.
And also, in July, well, this is every year. The biggest money maker of the city, the Cincinnati Music Festival. I mean, shout out to the Cincinnati Music Festival. Yes. Because really, I don't think people realize that is actually the biggest money maker in the city.
Yes.
The biggest money maker in the city. They said they drew 37,500 people on Saturday night alone. The economic impact was $107 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money to pump in one city over a weekend.
Over a weekend.
You know
It's
what I
a lot
mean?
of money.
And shout out to the, they usually have the Black Taste during that same weekend. Shout out to the Black Taste.
Very good. Good food.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. They have all of the vendors and everything. And you can go and eat, and you don't have to pay those high hotel prices and all of that. It was
really
amazing.
Good food.
Yeah.
I think, and it was good. Just a great experience. Wherever you go to the festival, wherever that's your kind of music, and the whole event in the city, and just the whole surrounding
area. Just go and hang out downtown. You ain't even got to go to the festival. Go hang out downtown and have a good time. And they're gonna probably within the next, I would say, 2 to 4 weeks, they're gonna be announcing who the new lineup is for 2020.
Right.
So y'all stay tuned for that. But shout out to the Black Taste and to the Cincinnati Music Festival, the biggest money maker in the city of Cincinnati every year. Are we ready, you guys? We're gonna let's do a little video before we continue with the second half of the year. This is by Johnny B. Williams. It's called The Greatest King. This is the Christmas season. So it's only one king, ain't it?
One king.
The King of Kings.
The King of all kings.
The King of all kings, the greatest king, Johnny B. Williams. We'll be right back.
David, Lion of Judah, you are the greatest king this world has ever known. Lord of glory, you are desired of every nation. You are the greatest king this world has ever known. You are highly exalted with all power in your hand. Righteous King, eternal, and I'll bow before you. I will worship, I will shout it from the mountain. You are the greatest King this world has ever known. I will sing and I will
Johnny B. Williams. I love that song.
It's a great song.
I love it. And even though it's not really a Christmas song, it still pertains to it, right? It returns to the message. I love it. I absolutely love that song. That's Johnny B. Williams for anybody that wants to know. So go and get his song. That's a gorgeous song. So we are back, and we are doing our 2019 year in review, and we're just kind of roaming through the papers of what happened this year. We're kind of going with national news, world news, sports, local news. So we've been about through half the year, huh?
A little bit about half. Let's pick up in August.
Okay, what happened in August?
You want to start with something good, or want to?
Well, I would say let's go ahead and get the bad news out the way. You know, we ended up getting hit. We didn't, but El Paso, Texas.
El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, they got hit with that.
Mass shooting at the Walmart.
Yeah.
22 people killed. 24 people injured. My goodness, my goodness, my
They
goodness.
said this was the deadliest U.S. shooting in 2019.
It's just horrible.
Isn't it a mess?
I don't know really what's going on in the world, but, you know, in our prayers, we've got to pray that this whole spirit of this mass shooting thing leaves our country.
Well, see, today I agree, but it's going to take more than prayer. It's going to take legislation of some people that got good sense, that understand that these weapons that they are utilizing that are really for combat and for war, we don't need those kind of weapons on the street. Mm-hmm. And every time they bring this up, what happens? They start talking about they're trying to take our guns away and all of this mess. And it has nothing to do with you not being armed. It has to do with why do you need an AK-47 in your possession? Something that can take out 20, 30 people at a time.
Why don't they let them have the arms that they had back at the time when the Constitution was written?
They ain't even making them no more.
Well, I mean, those guns were not quite of the caliber
I mean,
we
don't
now.
need
so
those
maybe they have the right
of,
to have those kind of guns.
Yeah, but we don't need those kind of weapons on the street.
We do not.
And usually, in these types of shootings, those are the kind of weapons they're using. They're using these kind where you can just spray people and kill up masses of people. That's why they're called mass killings. Because if you're out there with one gun, and you can only shoot one bullet at a time, and they out here spraying folk, you can't, what are you going to do with somebody like that?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know of any really hunting expedition that shoots that way. Because usually when they shoot an animal, they don't want to pull it full of bullets.
It's not for animals either. It's for war.
Right.
Those are war types of weapons.
Not sporting weapons.
Yeah, they're not sporting weapons, and they're not weapons, to be honest with you, I feel that any one individual needs to have in their possession.
Right.
They shouldn't even be for sale for regular people. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're not in war, then what do you need a weapon like that for? So my thing is, I'm never against prayer. I'm a praying woman. I pray every night at 11 o'clock. I'm on my knees praying. But the thing is, it's not that I don't believe in prayer. But we got to do more than prayer.
Yeah.
And we need legislation. Mm-hmm. We need some people with some good sense. That means y'all need to vote. I'm going to say that for the first time tonight. Y'all need to vote in people that understand common sense. So that's all I'm going to say on that. But it was tragic.
Not necessarily moved by the NRA because they seem to
have
a lockdown on
a lot of people.
On a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of our legislators.
Because they're paying them. They're paying them to, keep us alive. We'll give you a check if you keep us alive.
There you go.
And that's what's going on with that.
Also, in August, there was Hurricane Dorian.
Dorian, that was a mess, wasn't it?
Mess.
It was sad because it literally tore up that whole region over there. That's a region people actually go and visit.
And the Bahamas had been hit before.
Oh, yeah. People vacation over there.
Down here, I understand, like, where I used to go in the Bahamas is not even really there anymore. It was hit bad last time. I think it was hit again this time.
Well, I know the further up part where Grand Bahama is at, that part is fine.
Right.
But on the other side of the Bahamas, it took it out, man. Yes. I mean, it was just devastating to see that this continues to happen. And it's not really anything anybody can do about it. I mean, if a hurricane is coming or something like that, all you can do is get out of the way. You know what I mean?
And we can give our relief. I would tell anyone that is giving money, make sure you're giving it to an organization where the majority of the money goes to the people. Because there are some organizations that are very top-heavy with administration, and a lot of all that money doesn't always get to the people. So check out when you're going to invest your money and give. Make sure you give to one of the organizations doing a lot. I do know Matthew's 25 Ministry does a lot in the United States and around the world to really help. And what you give to them goes directly to the people.
It goes directly to the people, and that's what you want to do. But you know, we did have some good news here in Cincinnati in the month of August. The Urban League of Greater Southwest Ohio actually got a new CEO.
Yes.
And I met him. His name is Eddie Cohen. Shout out to Eddie Cohen
for
coming all the way from Denver. Yeah, he came to head up the organization, and I met him at the Urban League Gala earlier this year. So very nice guy, very nice gentleman, and I think he's going to do a great job over there. And they needed some really good, strong leadership over there at the Urban League.
All right.
So shout out, congratulations, Eddie Cohen, for coming in, taking over the Urban League of Cincinnati.
Well, we're going to keep moving. Let's go back to sports. In September, Serena Williams won her 100th U.S. Open singles event.
You know, that's my girl.
Yes.
Serena is just it. You know what I'm saying? It makes every time she wins, it's just like, how much longer is this gonna happen? Because it's like, I just watch it because I know she's gonna do something. And she's had a couple of defeats this year. You know what I mean?
She has.
She just had a baby too.
Yeah.
So you know, for those that have never actually had a baby and push one out of your body goes through a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's in a sport that is very demanding of your body.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you play tennis, you're using everything. You know what I mean? So it takes a very strong individual to be able to play tennis at the level that she plays it. So while I understand why she wanted her standing in the world not to go down, that's why she kind of went back to work. I wish she had gave herself just a little more time to heal, but she's a bad somebody. I just love Serena. She is amazing. She is absolutely amazing. Congratulations to you, Serena.
Always.
I mean, she just wins everything she puts her hands to. She's just able to do it.
Right.
And she does it in excellence. And I love her sister too now. Shout out to her sister.
Yeah, amazing.
I love Venus too now.
They're amazing, both of them. They really are. Now, in September, Equifax reached settlement.
Yeah, they did.
You might have some money out there. You need to get in touch with Equifax. breachsettlement.com. Because you know they got a file on all of us. You might want to see they got to pay out $425 million.
They said it was 147 million people affected. So guess what? You need to find out if that was you. Because
you might be in the number.
They said now through January the 22nd, you can submit a form to Equifax to see if it affected your credit report. So I can't tell you whether it did or not, but you can go to eligibility.equifaxbreachsettlement.com and you can fill out the form and see if you were one of those that it actually affected. Because they can tell you right on the spot, and I did it. And I was one of them, so I'm trying to get mine. You know what I'm saying?
Getting mine too. I had the feeling that they probably don't know everybody, so if you put in, you just might get it.
You better go and check them out again. That is eligibility.equifaxbreachsettlement.com. Go and see. You don't know, and you won't know if you don't just...
Write that down. When you get off of here, you need to get that money.
I'm going to say it one more time. eligibility.equifaxbreachsettlement.com.
That's right.
So, hey, if they got something they holding up, that might be your blessing you waiting around on. Who knows?
Yes.
So go and check it out and see, because it might be something for you over there.
Well, in October, in the sports world, it finally happened. They tell me it was 86 years in the making.
Oh, Lord.
But you know, if you hold out long enough, you'll get it.
The Washington
Nationals
Nationals.
won the World Series.
I know.
That kind of felt something in me. That touched me.
I'm
Because I
sure
used to
it
live
would.
in Washington,
I know
D.C.
it. I
My
know.
favorite city of all. And I tell you, they waited, and I saw the signs waving through the city and all the settlement. They said, leading up to it, they were saying, finish the fight.
Finish
Keep
the
the
fight.
going. But when it was all said and done, they said, fight finished. I'm telling you,
That's amazing,
what
though.
an exciting time.
86 years.
86 years.
They
waited
had
for
never
winning
won. They never won a World Series.
World Series. Never had a winning
You
team,
know, my
but
mom and
finally.
dad are big baseball fans, and I'm not really a big baseball fan. But when it starts getting toward the playoffs and they're trying to find out who's going to the World Series, that's kind of when I start tuning in. So I guess I cheat. So sorry.
That one
But
there,
I did watch this. It was good.
That one there was amazing. It was,
It was
just
good.
amazing.
It was.
Great for the city.
86 years.
All the years they started out in the Negro League, where they just had the Negro team that owns the National League baseball, and never having that winning team, and finally,
Yeah.
86 years, they got it.
86 years. And you know who else was just, to me? I love this young lady, and I celebrate her, Simone Biles.
Yes.
She became, in October, the world's most decorated gymnast. I mean, this girl is just amazing. She's a little rubber band.
Yes.
Oh my God, she's just a little itty bitty something. And I mean, she's like 22 years old. She don't look like it, but she's just amazing. She's just the best thing we've ever seen. I'm gonna tell you, because I'm a big gymnastics fan, and I haven't seen anything even close to her until Nadia Comaneci. That was way back in the day.
Way back.
Shout out to Simone Biles.
Yes.
The most decorated gymnast of our lifetime. That is amazing. I'm loving that. So we're rolling on up into the end of the year.
Well, last month, and really just a few weeks ago, we lost a really legendary preacher.
Yeah.
Like none other.
None other.
Like none other. Preacher, singer, civil rights leader, and that's Reverend Clay
Reverend
Evans.
Clay Evans, yes. That was
Fellowship.
just a couple weeks ago.
Just a few weeks ago.
Senior pastor of the fellowship.
This church, he really was an ally to Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. for his efforts. And I understand that because of that relationship, they held up the building of fellowship as we knew it a while because the city was upset of his support. But even with that great cause, he stood his ground and he did it.
Yeah.
What a great man. So many songs.
He has a huge legacy.
Huge
He has
legacy.
a huge legacy because he was more than just senior pastor of the ship. He was a recording artist.
Recording artist.
Yeah.
He was on the radio.
Yeah.
I remember shortwave radio a little bit, getting some of that.
Yeah.
And so just a great thing. But you know what?
Yeah.
Right now, right here in December, we are going through something, some of us call it a constitutional challenge, some of us call this, but we have a president that is just about to be impeached. And
Lord Jesus. Lord, I tell you, listen. This is huge, especially for those that have never been through this before. But, just today, they were having the proceedings to just find out what's going to be the outline of how you're going to do it. They won't even let any of the witnesses come forth in the Senate.
And now,
have you ever been to court and they don't have no witnesses?
Well, now
how you don't have a trial and you don't have no witnesses?
And then the president releases this rambling letter to Nancy Pelosi about why it wasn't fair process.
What in the world is happening? And if that was us, he done been subpoenaed. He done threatened people to not cooperate with the House and all that. If this was us, we'd be in jail. You know what I'm
just going to say that for the sake of the country, we really have to realize that this needs to happen. And I assure you that if this would have happened under if Obama would have done the same
We
thing
ain't gonna
he's
even
done,
talk about it.
the Republicans would be on the other side of this.
Who-wee.
And I wish that they would just go with the rules of law. The truth is out there.
Well, you have to
Look at
respect the
facts.
rule of law before you
Yes.
can go with it, and that's what we're dealing with. Leadership in Washington that does not. The person in the White House doesn't respect the rule of law. He doesn't respect the Constitution. He doesn't respect anything, order, nothing. And he's there to throw all that out the window because he wants to be a dictator, which is really sad. But you guys, let me tell you this. I gotta say this. This is the second time I'm mentioning it. If you do not vote, then do not complain, because your vote does count. I'm not telling you who to vote for. What I am saying is, when you sit silent on the sidelines, this is the kind of stuff that's going on right now in Washington. This is the kind of stuff that happens when you decide that your vote doesn't count. You have to participate in your civic duty of having your voice heard at the ballot box. It is so important that you do that. And you need to go and let people know what your mindset is about this country and how it should be ran. And that's at the local level, that's at the national level. Stop voting just when it's time for a president. We need to vote whenever there's an election.
Yes.
Because your local elections also affect you. And we're dealing with what we're dealing with now, because it's not because so many people went out to vote for him, it's because so many people stayed home. That's what happened at the last election.
That
and
happened.
if people will go and vote, you will see that it is more of us than it is of them. So that's all I can say about that, because tomorrow they are actually going to take the vote in the House
I believe they will
to
impeach
seal the
him.
deal.
The
In the
sad
House.
thing is
In the
that-
House.
In the House. The
Yeah.
sad thing is, because of partisanship, I don't believe this will go the way it should go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate, I think, that it would be good if there was a real trial in the Senate. Maybe they would see it. But right now, I think on the Republican side, they're concerned about winning. They're concerned about
That's all they care about.
keeping control.
Yeah.
And they feel that to do anything that they should do in correcting this president would be a mistake
Absolutely.
to them.
And you know what? Before we go, I hate to end on a bad note.
Right.
I do. But y'all, this was the absolute worst season for the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, I have never seen anything like this. They've won one game this whole season, and it's really sad. I'm sorry, Bengals. Y'all they should just forfeit these last couple games they got and go ahead and get their mind straight for next season.
Well, you
But
know, they called for Marvin to leave, but they
this
certainly
ain't got
not
nothing to
doing
do
any
with Marvin.
No, I'm just saying.
They can't blame Marvin for this one.
No.
What's going on now? This is kind of sad. I mean, they know they need they need a
something.
quarterback over there, and it really doesn't matter what you got going on in the backfield and all of that. It don't matter if you don't have a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah.
Your quarterback has to lead. You know what I mean? Right. And we just need they need stronger leadership on the Bengals end. So I hate to end on a note like that.
Well,
You guys, this year has been something else, man. I mean,
it's really over for the Bengals. We can only hope that they do something in the off season, reconstruct.
and maybe
all
next
that.
year.
Maybe next year.
And really, to me, what they should do is just go ahead and lose the next 2 games so they can have a #1 draft pick. Because that's really what they need.
I don't think it's gonna matter. I don't think they have
matter.
to try to lose. They probably lose anyway. But you know.
Yeah, they need to go ahead and lose these next 2 so they can stay in position to be able to have that first-round draft pick, because they need it desperately. We want to thank y'all so much for joining us, like, for our last show of the decade. Don't that sound crazy?
When we come back, it'll be a new.
It'll be not just a new year, but a new decade.
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
And you guys, I just, I have to say, shout out to God just for watching over us and making sure that we came
kept
through.
us this long.
We just got a few more days left, but you guys, I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season. with your families, with your loved ones. I want to lift up all of those that may have loved ones that you lost this year or before this year. We're praying for you. Because sometimes the holiday season can be really rough on people when they lose somebody, and I try not to ever forget that. The holidays are rough on people that have lost someone significant in their life. We're praying for you, and we're lifting you up, and I try not to ever forget that when the holiday seasons come, because it usually starts around Thanksgiving, and then, you know, so we don't want depression for everybody. We want you to focus on the fact that God has gotten you this far by faith.
And I encourage you to go to find your local church and community in the year in the house of the Lord.
That's right.
And start the new year in the house of the Lord.
You know, I don't think you have to be, you know, I think there's nothing better you can do. You still got time to go and have fun and enjoy family or friends or party or whatever. But I think that's a good thing. You need to go and give God some time just to show him how grateful you are that he was merciful enough to watch over you from January to December. You know, there are people that take that for granted. I don't take that for granted.
Take it for granted.
You don't have to be here. And God is just good like that. You know what I mean? He'll just bless you. And it's in spite of ourselves. He still blesses us anyway. So, you know, even though we went through a bunch of stuff that was going on this year, all the bad stuff that was happening, and look how he covered us.
Yes, he's covered us.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even though my own hometown went through the tragedy of 15 tornadoes. But God still kept us in perfect peace. Isn't that amazing?
Amen.
We just love you, God, and we love all of you. Thank you so much for joining us and for being with us. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and God bless you.
God bless you, and happy decade of 2020. We're praying for you. Let everything that have breath praise the Lord.